Hello, and welcome to the PBJ series of channels. I'm Jay. This is my Projects by Jay channel, where I will be posting my woodworking and DIY videos. I also have a Photography by Jay channel, which shows some of my events and location photography, as well as a Playtime by Jay channel, which for now will focus mainly on my hobby of fishing, but will probably expand as I branch out into other hobbies. I may also develop a Puppy by Jay channel, which will be random videos of my puppy dog Asher. I'm a disabled veteran of the U.S. Army 3 years and U.S. Army Reserve 5 years. I'm also a retired registered nurse. I retired early due to health reasons related to my military service. Safety. I do woodworking because I find it enjoyable and relaxing. I enjoy making projects that my friends and family enjoy, such as these. I'm also planning on selling projects that I make, so look forward to me opening a store in the future. At this time, I'm new to video creation. I have no sponsorships or ads, and I'm hoping to replace some of my lost income through PBJ channels. You can help me do this by smashing that like button, subscribing to my channel, and clicking the notification bell so you are notified whenever I upload a new video. You can also share this video with your friends. And you can leave a comment. Doing all this will help spread my videos by feeding the video sharing services algorithms. I'm hoping to post videos anywhere from like weekly to monthly once I get my process down completely. This is my first completed video. It's a cherry shelf with wood burn accents that looks something like this. This shelf is a joint project between my wife and I. My wife did the wood burning, which I will discuss further in the video. I asked if I could record her doing the wood burning, but she's less than enthusiastic about the prospect of being in a YouTube video, so there's that. This is a lengthy video including the introductions and the reel. It lasts about an hour. My own wife can't tolerate listening to me for an hour, so I doubt you will either. So I've cut the completed video into segments roughly 10 to 15 minutes each. This is part 5 of 5. I hope YouTube does not slap a manipulation video label on me because it has been edited. Not to defraud the viewer, but because this video started as 4 hours long, and I also removed most of my ums as well. Since these videos use power tools, remember safety first, hearing protection, eye, vision protection, protection for your lungs, and your phone, just in case you have to call for help. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and click the notification thingy because it feeds the algorithms. I hope you enjoy the video. My wife has a couple of projects she would like me to do. My wife also gave me a little diagram that she would like to have done for a shelf. This shelf is going to be made cherry. So this here is going to be a shelf. It's going to be made out of cherry, and it's going to have 4 pegs. And this is, we're getting a dog. And this will be for the leash and the other accoutrements. My wife will have a, when she takes the dog out, she wants to have a backpack, baggies for poop and stuff like that, and also some water. So she wants a place to store it, and that's what this is going to be. So I'll be making it out of this piece of cherry. You'll be seeing those in upcoming videos. I have everything taped off so that my glue will have minimal impact on the wood. I've got my back in the vise, and what I'm going to do is put a small bead of glue along here. Then I'm going to go ahead and attach the top. Then I'll attach the corners, and after I do the corners, then I will start working on the positioning for the pegs. And I refilled my glue, but I got tired of playing with it. Glue on this board as well. And these corners can only go on one way. Hello.
We're out here walking around.
That's my wife with our new puppy. Here it is, glued up, clamped up. I was more concerned about getting this done right than getting it on film, but basically at this point I just got to wait for the glue that's here to set. Then I'm going to start working on the pegs. We are now at probably the most dangerous part of almost every project. We've got it done enough where if it falls and something breaks, we're going to cry, but it's not done enough that we're done. So at this point, I'm now putting on the final peg, and these I'm hand screwing. I'm concerned about splitting this wood. It's kind of thin. I'm not used to working with cherry. So this I'm doing by hand just till it's hand tight and a teeny bit more. There you go. I put a little drop of glue under each peg. Then I put the screws through. I have 2 screws for each peg. Put the screws in, lined them up with the holes I pre-drilled, got them started, and then used a regular plain old Phillips screwdriver to securely hand tighten every single one of these screws. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a final sanding. There's a little bit of area where there's some little dusty, I don't know what they call this, a feather, I think. Little feather of the holes and stuff where I drilled. So I'm going to sand all this one more time. I'm also going to get some cherry dowel to plug all of these holes so you won't see the holes. Then I'm going to poly it, and it's going to be a clear satin poly. And then I will put this up on the wall. But now this is pretty much what this thing is going to look like. So we've got 10 hooks, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 hooks, plus we got the shelf on the top. So let me get to sanding. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my random orbit sander, sand this one last time. I really only have to sand the outside. If I try to sand the inside, I think I will have a disaster. There are some areas where I need to sand on the inside. For those areas, I will be using a sanding pad because I just have enough to go in there with the sanding pad. Now, one way I can prevent from messing up my image that my wife burned in here is that on the ends there is no sanding material. So if I put my sanding pad this way when I sand, I will be rubbing a non-abrasive portion on the bottom. And everybody loves to watch people sand. I've now sanded down to 320 grit. I'm not going to do the finish yet because I still want to get these plugs. My iron is heated up now, and first I'm going to do my initials. Okay, so it appears to be up to heat now, or up to temperature. And what I'm going to do is just do a couple of quick trials and see what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that looks pretty good. And remember, what you got to do is, unfortunately, the wood is not perfectly smooth, no matter what you do. So you kind of rock it back and forth until you get your letter. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the J somewhere in the middle here. 1, 5. Okay, there's my J. Now I need to turn it off. You definitely got to be careful because this is hot. Here's the L. So that's finger tight. Turn it back on the high. I'm going to let this sit for about maybe 5 minutes. It'll take that long for it to reach temperature. So the L took about 3-4 minutes to heat up. Checking it on my scrap piece and it's burning really nice. So I'm going to come over here to my board. Then now I need to take this out. I'm going to put a tip in so I can write the year in. This appears to be up to heat now. There's the logo. I'm inside the house right now. I got the plugs cut. I've taken the shelf down off the wall. I've already put a couple in, but I wanted to go ahead and just real quick show you the process of plugging these holes. I got my plugs. I'm lining up the grain of the plug with the grain of the wood so that when I sand everything down, it'll be even hard to tell that there's a plug there. I have some Tite Bond in a tray. I'm just going to select one of my holes, like this one here at the end, put some glue in it. Trying to be careful not to get glue on the outside of the hole. Then I'm going to take a plug, put a teeny bit of glue on the edge of the plug, match up the direction of the grain, get it started, and then using this little hammer, and I'll just do that 24 more times. Son of a gun. Well, I made plugs until I ran out of wood that I could use to make plugs with. I had no idea how many plugs I got, but I did the best I could with cherry. And guess what? I have the exact amount of plugs that I needed. The next part of what I'm going to do for the shelf is I'm going to flush cut off these pegs. I've already done a few of them, but I wanted to give you a chance to see what I'm doing here. So let me zoom on in. So I have 2 pegs here and 2 pegs here, and I have this Stanley 2331, not a sponsored tool. This is a flush trim saw. It has no offset on the teeth, so you can run it against the wood and not worry about producing scratches. Over time, as you use one of these things, some of the scent may go off. So it's a good idea to take some painter's tape, lay it down where you're going to cut, and this way you're just a hair, well, a hair is 3/1000ths of an inch thick. And the saw is also nice and flexible. So now, take plane. I've flush cut all the plugs, took a plane to them. Next, I got to go ahead and sand it one last time and then put some finish on it and it'll be done. I'm really anxious to see what this is going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and put poly here on the inside and the sides. So once again, I'm going to use these bench cookies with these extenders go in the dog hole. And that'll raise the whole project up. So I'll be able to start by doing one edge, putting it over, and then do all the rest of the parts that I want, and then I can leave it here to dry. This is a water-based clear satin polyurethane. I'm going to use a foam brush to apply it. Unlike the rub-on poly, you do not shake this, you stir it. And even though this is water-based, it has some VOCs, so I'm going to turn on my fan. You want to stir this thoroughly, but you don't want to really go crazy because you don't want to get bubbles in. I'm going to put gloves on. This is our happy little cherry shelf that we made. We aligned approximately where on the wall we wanted the shelf. I had my wife put some blue painter's tape on the bottom corner of the shelf so I have a rough idea of where we're going to be starting the shelf hanging. I'm going to use that center finding ruler again, and I have it already set for 16-inch span, and as you can see it does match the slots that I've cut with my keyhole bit in my router. I've also measured in from the edge to the center of the slot, and that is 6 3/8 in and 4 inches up. I'm going to take a pencil and my ruler. I'm going to measure in 6 1/4 inches in, and then I'm going to go 4 inches up, and that is where my first hole is going to go. I'm going to make a mark directly on the wall. Now I'm just going to take a small Phillips head screwdriver and happily and gently twist and go through that wall. I want to be very careful doing this because unfortunately this can break through if I push too hard into the wall on the opposite side. Now I'm going to take center finder. I'm going to put this notch on the bottom of the 8-inch here. I'm going to level it, and then once I'm level, I'm going to go to the 8-inch on this side, and holding it tightly in place, I'm going to make another hole. And I just poked through the drywall, and I want to be, again, I'm going really careful not to poke all the way through. And luckily, these holes are large enough for my drywall anchors. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the butt of my screwdriver, and I'm going to tap them until they're flat. That's a happy wall anchor. Now if I did everything perfect, this should real smoothly sit in place. Let me zoom in. That is the cherry shelf with wood burnt accent. This is cherry. With a helps if you plug it in. If you're all that, and I forgot to rehook up my dust collection. they were the it's of um, 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 and uh, uh, um, um,